Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eric Ilief Humphrey from Quiet on the Set magazine. Here sitting with me today is he has so many titles, guys. I mean, he's a living musical innovator, legend. They call it the choir master, the Ricky Dillard.
Brother Eric, thank you so much for having me today. It's an honor to be here with you.
Yes, it's amazing that, I mean, I met Ricky at the DC Emancipation Day concert, and briefly on the red carpet, I said, I need you for our June cover, and I need to do a podcast, and here we are. Won't he work it out?
He won't even work it out.
Work it out.
We are together. Thank you so
very,
much.
Very well. I'm gonna read some of his bio. Guy, I know that people hear his music and been hearing his music for the past 2 or 3 decades.
Certainly.
How many?
We've been here since '90.
90.
Our first album came out in 1990.
And would that been Promise?
The Promise.
The Promise.
The Promise album was the first gospel album with my choir, New G, of which we started in 1988. So we had a very fast pace to our first recording.
Wow. And that was the very first release.
Very first release.
But then you had something in 1987?
Well,
what was that project?
No, 87 probably was the house music.
Okay, we're going to talk about that. Let's save that for...
Yep. I did house before I did my first gospel album.
Okay, we're going to talk about that.
Sir.
But I want to read, because I want to read, and they say it's fundamental, but you guys need to hear some of the things that this legend, and that's why he's called a legend, because he had did so many things. He worked with so many people. He has collaborated with Patti LaBelle, then Puff.
P. Diddy.
Name some.
I mean, we've done some collaborations with so many people, whether it be through performances, television performances, or movies. You know, Beyonce, Cuba Gooding, Steve Martin, Deborah Winger, Liam Neeson. I mean, you call the roll, Melba Moore.
Yeah, and then you just recently, last year, you did the Color Purple. We're going to talk about that, guys, too.
Yes.
So he's just running down some of his track record, but he's just a great musician, singer, director, producer, right?
Yes, producer as well.
And writer.
And writer.
And writer. Okay, so I'm going to read some of the things, and this is how his biography goes. Ricky Dillard, the choir master, has been a force in gospel music since his first recording in 1990. And since then, he has been ensuring that the legacy of gospel choir music continues to have genres and generations. He is a 6-time Grammy nominee, 2-time Dove Award winner, and the recipient of multiple Stellar Awards, NAACP Image Award, and countless other awards. Ricky Dillard continues to mark the chart-breaking music along with his energetic choir New Energy, which you call G now?
New Generation.
New Generation. Yeah. Choral known as New G. That's what it says.
Yes, sir.
Then I'm going to pull out some other stuff that they say about him. Dillard continues to make gospel choir music relevant. Having recorded 13 gospel albums, Dillard had released 3 topping albums under Motown Gospel, with the most recent album, Choir Master 2. We're going to leave it right there.
All right.
And so we're going to start off with a typical question. Where you from?
I'm from a little small town called Chicago Heights, Illinois.
Okay.
And it is the south suburbs of Chicago. It is the home of Al Capone, the legendary gangster.
Okay.
Who made Chicago Heights a very popular place as he, I guess through his time, had different types of businesses, I think through the alcohol business and stuff like that. So Chicago Heights is known for, manufacturing alcohol, and then Ford Motor Company was there. It was one of those thriving communities, and I was born and raised there. And lived there for many years until maybe 18, 19 years old, when I ventured out into the city of Chicago to move into my musical quest and to try to find my road to music and all the things that I love.
Okay, so tell us about your family.
My family, my mother was a God-fearing woman. She actually was a single mother for many years. She married John Dillard, of which was not my father. Emmett Parker was my father, but when she married John, she gave us all the last name Dillard. And I have three siblings. It's four of us. I'm the youngest of the four siblings.
Do any of them play music or sing?
None of them.
And you were blessed with the
I
gift.
was only one blessed with the gift of music and theater, all of that. My brother, his name's Brian. He was more athletic and ended up going into home financing. And my sisters have children, and they still live in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
And we are still a very tight-knit family. My mother and father have passed and gone on to be with the Lord, of which they died in 2005. Both of them died in 2005, at least 4 months apart from each other. So, it has been an incredible journey of God's grace and direction and healing through the years. When you lose your mother and your father, that's a whole nother level of life that you have to go on without them. But God has been really faithful in those early years of their death to give us the comfort, and it never gets old.
So then, with that being said, with your parents passing, and you was well into your music by then.
I was well into my music. Yes.
Some of those incidents and the death of your parents, I'm more than sure you created some music behind it.
Oh, yes. Well, actually, when my mother was very sick, she had a favorite hymn that she liked that Andre Crouch wrote. It was called Through It All. And I wrote an arrangement of my own Through It All before she died. And she was at that live recording.
Wow.
To see us. And matter of fact, I was taking her to a doctor's appointment, and she was very ill this day. I still remember her laid in my car, stretched back in the chair, and I just began to hear the new medley, a melody of Through It All. So I ended up kind of arranging a new one, and we recorded it, and she was able to really walk most of the career up until 2005, from the beginning to 2005, and even before I started the choir. My mother was my biggest supporter and inspiration and fan, even before I even signed a contract ever. So I'm just honored to be her son and to have resignated all the gifts that I have resignated. I would still remember my mother when we lived in the projects of Chicago, the low-income housing projects. My mother come home with a piano for me.
Wow.
And I didn't know how she got it, but we had one in the house and we were renting it, and she would send me to piano lessons to cultivate the voice that I had and put the music with the voice, of which I really wasn't interested in playing. I was more so interested in music and
So
singing.
what age were you when you...
I had to be about 10, 11 when she brought this piano and started taking me to piano lessons, thinking that would be something extra to help with what I would do in the future.
So that's when your music career... that's when you realized...
As a young kid,
young kid.
my mother would buy these records at home, and I would sit at the hi-fi. We called them hi-fives back then, the stereo system.
The consoles or hi-fis? Which one?
Both of them.
They're both of them?
They were both, in time, some of them, because you had component sets, that they took that, made it a little bit more smaller than the big high fives, but the high fives was the consoles with the turntables in them. Then you had the 8-track tapes in the middle. You had all of that 8-track tape here, the turntable here, but it was on a console. So you were right about the console.
And that's when music was real music.
Oh, that's when music was real. We talking about the Aretha Franklins of the world were in front, and talking about gospel, James Cleveland, and Aretha. Those were the years that I remember the James Cleveland and Aretha collaborations on that Amazing Grace album, is which when my choir boy life really began.
Oh, okay.
In 1971, 72.
So your actual career started around that time?
No, I just got the inspiration.
So when did you?
Yes, it was an inspiration to hear these old albums that my mother would bring home, and she was in the choir, so she loved gospel music. And
so your mom did sing?
My mother sang in the choir. She wasn't the lead singer. Yeah, she did lead some songs. She did. But she was in the choir for some years, and then she transitioned to be a Sunday school teacher, and she joined the usher board. Then, at her older age, joined the mothers board and became the head of mothers of our church. And she died as the head church mother.
Okay. So where do you fall in line?
My siblings, I have 3 siblings, 2 girls that are older. Dorothea is the oldest. Dakota is the second. My brother Brian is the third, and I am the fourth.
So you the baby.
I am the
Were you
youngest.
spoiled?
Let me say yes. Yes, my mother did spoil me.
I wonder
because
why.
I think she was. I think she was extremely proud
Proud
of
of
what
you. Yeah.
I was becoming.
Okay, very well.
By the time I got out there on a level into the industry,
Okay.
her spoiling me just became a little bit more advanced.
Advance.
Yeah.
Okay. So actually, when did your musical career really started then?
I would probably say my musical career really started maybe in 1983.
83. Okay.
When I joined a group called LSD, Love, Salvation, and Devotion.
Oh, okay. I was like, okay.
And back then, drugs were so big, how the communities would go through the drug situations. And Reverend Bronson was one of those guys who took the young people and gave them something to do. Reverend Milton Bronson started this group called the Thompson Community Singers, and they've been for many, many years.
I remember that
By
name.
the time that I joined them in like 83, LSD also was a group that was a part of Reverend Bronson's group. Tyrone was the director of the Tommy. So that's how my career actually began, getting connected to the gospel music industry with this group called LSD, which we were backup singers.
Okay.
Like Vanessa Bell Armstrong, Thomas Whitfield, Keith Pringle, and artists like that, which allowed us to do TV shows and travel a little bit and get out there a little bit.
Okay. So you had started, now it does say that you start as a Chicago house musician.
Yes.
Please expound on that.
When I joined the Thompson Singers, I was just a background singer there, a tenor in the tenor
How old
section.
were you?
About 19 years old,
Okay.
18, 19.
Okay.
And I wanted to record. I felt like I could sing a little bit, and I said, I want to record. So I would read the back of these albums and see the label names. So I had bought some house music albums, and on the back of the album was DJ International Records, which was on Randolph Street in Chicago, downtown.
So you knew where it was.
I didn't know where it was, but the address was there. So I
okay.
took the train
Okay.
and went
And your
there
intentions were?
to just go check it out. You know what I'm saying? And I went and checked it out, and I walked in and talked to them, and they took me into their warehouse, and I was able to pick all these albums just for gifts. They gave me some gifts, and I would go there all the time, and they found out that I could sing.
Okay.
And just being there, Frankie Knuckles would come there to pick up albums, Farley Jack Master, Funk, Steve Silk Hurley, all of the popular DJs in Chicago would come there, and I ended up meeting them, and they all heard me sing. So one day, I believe Farley invited me into the studio to cut. He said, man, why don't you come to the studio tonight? We're finna cut this track. So I went down there, and just because I'm hungry, you know what I'm saying? And he said, man, come in here and do this. And I sang this one part, don't stop jacking, don't stop jacking, let's jack tonight.
You're going to make me want to dance.
And from there, Frankie Knuckles was in the studio next door
And heard you?
and heard me and said, man, you got to come sing a track for me too.
Wow.
And they just kept going and kept going. And then I just ended up finding myself in the industry of house music and had released several 12-inch singles, and then also did a full 10-song album imported called Let the Music Use You. And
But you
the-
sang
it's-
earlier on when we were just talking. You sung another song that is very known.
Yeah, Steve Silk Hurley called me one day and said, man, I got this gospel house song, and I think you and your group will be great on it. So he sent me the track. He said, can you arrange the background vocals for him? All there was the music and the lead vocalist.
Okay.
And I sat and I listened to the lead vocalist. Her name was Vanessa Mitchell.
Okay.
And the song is called Take Me Higher.
Yeah, so, yeah. Can you
Take Me Higher.
Yeah.
And I sat with the song and arranged the musical vocals and brought New G in to do the vocals.
So New G got to tell the audience, like those who may know your music. But
yes, New G is my professional gospel choir.
Right.
But we took that professional gospel choir and did this house track with Steve and Vanessa. And it really went well in the clubs. Your love keeps taking me higher than I've ever. Never be the same, your love. Take me higher.
Oh, yeah, because that's a hot.
Yes.
And anywhere I've gone to hang out and party, no
they
matter
played that.
what city,
Yeah.
the big cities, when they play that, everybody's on the
that
floor.
floor.
And it seemed like the young, the old, you know.
It was a great song.
It's a great
It
song.
was a great song, and I was glad to. I talked to Steve maybe a couple of months ago, and we were talking about doing some kind of collaboration live on stage to bring it back. But we were busy the day he was doing it. I already was booked.
Wow.
But I thought it was a great idea to do this outdoor situation that he was doing in Chicago. And he said, "Can you and New G come and do that with us?" And I was like, "Man, that would have been dope to kind of do a reunion." With him, Vanessa, and New G, and take me, because we've never.
And y'all still here.
Yeah, we're still
to do
alive,
that
but we
part.
have never done that
never
song
done.
live before.
All right, so moving on. When did you realize that you was going to become a great gospel director?
Well, I really did not know. I think my love and passion for what I did just blinded me to what it brought me. I was so passionate about doing it and just making sure we were always good at doing it. I didn't know I was so good that people were like, "Oh, this," and wanted to have us to come and participate in events or do albums or do major events. And God kind of blinded me of it. I just didn't see it. I didn't see it coming. I didn't see that it was even that when it was that. I didn't recognize that I was famous. You know what I'm saying? That people would recognize me whenever they would see us or hear us. So it's a great journey to be able to recognize that people see what we've done and really.
So you was always gospel,
Always.
rooted in gospel,
Always.
even though you were doing the house music stuff.
I extended to branch out to house music, of which I was raised in church, raised in the church choir, raised directing the choir, and then learning to train the choir from those names that I've given you, like Reverend Milton Bronson, who taught me how to lead a choir, be the leader, the structure it, train it. Maddie Moss Clark, the Clark sisters' mother,
You worked with a whole
taught
lot.
me how to teach vocally the choir, train them, teaching them the parts. And Reverend James Cleveland and Father Charles Hayes helped me to come to the stage and grace the stage professionally. And Thomas Whitfield taught me the
You've
academic
been around
side.
all the.
The Lord blessed me at a young age to meet and actually touch every name that I have given you.
Wow.
And I'm so thankful that they have given me an impartation of who they are and were. And that's who you see on stage. When you see me, you see all of them.
all the collaborators.
A piece of all of them.
A piece of all of them.
Yep.
Like a perfect puzzle.
A perfect puzzle put
Pieced
together.
together.
Yeah, God did it.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. So clearly you made a choice.
I did.
To
Well,
stay
gospel,
with
my heart was always gospel because I was raised in church,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? And to go off in the house music, that was fun. Because I was in this young youth space where I wanted to party a little bit. I wanted to go to the clubs. I wanted to dance.
Oh, sorry.
And doing that, it allowed me to venture off into the music and make the music as well. And that's as far as I've gotten. I've not done any R&B or any other.
Yeah, I was going to
types of
ask you,
that.
did you
No,
segue
never
into
did.
any R&B?
Maybe, in high school I sang an R&B song
yeah,
for
and I'm on a show.
homecoming, something like that, or a talent show or something like that.
Because you figure at that age, nobody want to hear gospel.
Listen.
So that's why most
Well, you
Teenage
know, we
singing.
do what was popular
Super
at
popular.
that time, and
Yeah.
you're in high school, you're singing,
Yeah, yeah.
just do whatever's.
So in '80s, was it 80? I want to say, was it 87 or 83? Um,
When I
Promise was the first album.
Your Promise came out in 1990. We
Oh, it was
actually
in 1990.
Yeah, we
But
recorded.
what happened in '87?
Well, 87, 88, I started New G.
Oh, you started New G
I
in
organized,
'87.
yeah, I know. Organized New
Right.
G in '88, actually.
Okay.
And my career happened so fastly.
Uh-huh.
You know, we were recording our first album in '90.
Okay, so
I
90
started
was the first album that was Promise. And what was
New
that
G
like?
started in '88, and we recorded our first album in '90. 2 years later, it only took us 2
2
years
years.
to sharpen and prepare.
And what was that? What was that like?
Man, I mean, I was hungry. I was in Reverend Bronson and the Thompson community singers. I had been with all of the Chicago gospel greats on their platforms and been with them. So I have started my own choir. Now I want to show y'all what I see choir as and how I see choir through my eyes. And when you see New G, that is choir through Ricky Dillard's eyes.
Wow.
When I was with Reverend Bronson or Father Hayes or any of the others, that was choir through their eyes, and I learned choir from them, that way. But
Wow.
I saw choir in my own eyes, and I put a choir to do just that.
Okay. 1993.
Yes, sir.
You made Holy Ghost Take Off.
Holy Ghost take.
Holy Ghost Take Off.
Holy Ghost Take
What was on your mind? What was
Holy
in
Ghost
your
Take
heart?
Over
What was in your spirit?
It was actually from a message that a woman preacher preached at my church, Bishop Barbara Amos. No, Jackie McCullough from New York.
Yeah, Jackie McCullough.
Jackie McCullough preached a sermon called "We Are Launching a Holy Ghost Takeover," and I was so blessed by the message that it caused me to write a song. The song says, "We're taking back everything that the devil have stolen." So that's what Holy Ghost Takeover is all about. You can't take it passively. You got to take it with authority. And with
Now,
the
was that an
power.
album?
It
Or was
was
that
an
a
album.
single?
That was a single, but it was the title of the album.
Oh, right. Because it was the album. I remember
Yes,
that
it was
album.
the title of the album,
Yeah.
and it was a single from the album, the song itself. But
So it started off as
it started off as the album cover. The album title, excuse me.
right, and then
And it became the
single.
single. Yeah,
Right.
It was a single.
Yeah.
Yep. We had
Holy
a couple of
Ghost-
singles off of that. That was pretty good, but that
name
one,
a couple of them.
"Talk It Over with Jesus," which was a cover that we did from New York's Institutional Radio Choir.
Right, I remember New York. Well, I'm from New York.
Institutional Radio
They
Choir
one of
was
the
hit
bad-
makers.
Oh, they were bad.
They were bad, and we
Brooklyn Tabernacle. was
Yeah,
bad.
Brooklyn Tabernacle was bad too. New York has some great choirs that have come out there, but Institution being one of the oldest. Brooklyn is older as well. They've been around very, very long
Right.
time. I didn't know about Brooklyn until years later. I think because their music was more probably CCM. Then hard gospel, like the Institution Radio Choir would bring you the hard gospel. But Brooklyn ended up started doing some hard gospel in the mix of their repertoire, which garnered a lot of us to recognize the greatness in them as well.
When you say hard gospel and institutionalized, do you think they were the type of choir that brought in contemporary?
Well, no, you talking about contemporary gospel. You talking about people like Edwin Hawkins,
Yeah, that's what
and
I'm saying,
Walter
yeah.
Hawkins.
You said hard gospel is
Hard
like
gospel is that
traditional.
You know that hard.
Hard
You know.
punch.
Yeah,
That-
it's that praise.
praise
It's that
jump,
real
yeah,
high praise.
Yeah.
And like I said, Brooklyn ended up doing that as
That
well.
well.
So they mixed with that CCM sound, hymns that they did, and they just balanced out gospel choir.
Okay.
And Brooklyn Tabernacle. But
Okay.
Institution was where I gauged most of my learnings from. And Talk It Over Jesus was one of the biggest hits on their One More Day album, which came out in 1976.
Okay.
Yep, and I recut that song on the Holy Ghost Takeover album. So it was a hit then for me, as it was for Institution.
Okay. Because you have a profound understanding of the emotional and spiritual depth embedded in gospel, and embedded in gospel music. What type of atmosphere do you prefer when you're creating lyrics or writing or creating sound or whatever?
My inspirations don't actually come from an atmosphere. It actually comes from a moment or an
From a moment,
experience
from an
or
experience.
something that happens that God gives me this itch in my ear or heart and mind, whether it's the message that I'm starting with or if it's a beat or if it's chords. I'm inspired by something that have caused me to walk into the writing mode. And it just varies. It's not really an atmosphere for me. Some writers may want atmospheres to inspire them, but my inspirations, especially currently today, is social consciousness
Okay.
and what we are dealing with as Black people in the world.
Have you written any songs that dealt with social consciousness?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we have songs like "Things Are Gonna Get Better"
Okay.
with Kim Burrell. That's a social conscious mind for me. And if you could see on the video, on the screens, we have politicians' pictures going while she's singing this. When I'm talking about things are gonna get better, God has put people in position to aid us in our lives getting better. When you talk about Al Sharpton or all of the Black people that are in political places, in government, in leadership, in municipalities that are leaders to help us fight the good fight of faith. So
What year did that come out?
Things Are Gonna Get Better came out on our Breakthrough album, which was done 2 years ago in
Yeah, it says
22, I
Breakthrough.
believe. Breakthrough is that album. And most of my albums since 10, which when Donald Trump became president, that's when my social consciousness toward music awakened, just to inspire the listeners to my music, that whatever we were going to face, God had an answer already, and the answer was in the music. By me telling them what God was going to do in the songs. So my social consciousness and awakening has been something that is very inspiring to me now, and has got me on a drive to continue to bless people with a message of hope and faith that God's got their back no matter what the government says, what the laws of the land will do. When you are in Christ, many things are impossible, are possible.
Are possible.
Yeah.
Do you write all your songs?
I don't write all of them. What I love about my positioning now on writing is I may not have that young ear for what is happening now, but there are many writers out there who do, and they have no way to get their music out. So if you send me the right song, I'm gonna get your music out. And there we have this body of work of writers who can't get their music out and got good songs.
Makes sense. Yep. Gospel went through a metamorphosis, and how and why did it change? And how did it change in the past 4 decades?
Well, God got many minstrels out here with different downloads of sound and messages and styles. And when you talk about a genre, I look at it gospel like a bowl of fruit. You have apples, oranges, pears, bananas, all types of fruit in this basket. But it don't matter what you reach in that basket to get whatever you pull out of that basket is going to be good for your body. And this is the same thing. Whatever is in gospel music, the repertoires, the sounds, it's all going to be good for your ear. And the message is about the king. So you're going to get life from these various styles of messages of gospel music that you will hear in gospel industry.
Okay. You created 13 gospel albums.
Yes.
3 charted topping under Motown Gospel, with the most recent album, Choirmaster 2. How do you keep relevant? Tell the young people how to keep relevant, what you have to do to be relevant in the industry
Well,
or in the music.
sure, I understood your question. I think for me, it is the relationship that I have with the Lord to strategically allow me to see
Right.
what it is I'm supposed to do now And I'm not even talking about down the road. I'm talking about what am I doing right now, Lord? Let me handle this assignment instead of trying to figure out what I'm doing 5 years from now. Let me figure out what you want me to do now. And each album that we are preparing for, the Lord gives me this special itch to the songs that I'm supposed to sing and the message that I'm supposed to give. And sometimes I hear songs that are really just great, and I'll put them in a pile. And then all of a sudden, the Lord gives me a message of what the album message for the entire album will be. And again, as I stated before, you know, being in this social conscious space of making sure that I inspire people who are going through valley experiences and can't seem to see clearly. I want to make sure I sing a song that gets the cataract off your eyes, that you can see better, or a windshield wiper that clears the smoke or whatever for you, that you can hear and see what God is doing and is going to do for you. So, you know, just being, having my ear to the voice of the Lord and my heart open to what he will give is my first thing. And once he give me nuggets, I just start to drive that bus down the road, and we're going to keep picking up more stuff until this album is completely finished.
The song More Abundantly from Choirmaster, was that produced in 1990?
The first version was.
The first version? You had two versions.
I have two versions.
Okay.
The Choirmaster version is a 30-year remake.
Oh. Okay.
And how that came about, how that came about is that Motown asked me to get a church building that was kind of down home, nothing too mega. No mega church. Just give me a church seat about 700 people. We go and fill it up. Choir get in there like old school church, and let's cut and do a video. And I said, okay. So I took them to the Haven of Rest Baptist Church in Chicago, where I recorded the Promise album. I went back there 30 years later. Hadn't been in that room since we recorded the first album, Promise. Went there 30 years later to cut Choirmaster.
So was it live?
It was live.
It was live.
Yep, it was live. And the last song I added to that session was More Abundantly, because we had cut it there 30 years ago. I said, we got a new twist to it.
Oh, okay.
We put a new twist to it and cut it again.
So what was the twist?
Just to remake it and add some difference than we did
Different
30
sound.
years ago. No, different style in it. You know, we added a different vamp to it and kind of made it, add some horns and strings to it, and just kind of rebirthed it and gave it a polish to it.
Okay.
And it was revamped, and choir started singing it again all over the world, like they did 30 years ago when we cut it the first time.
Wow, that was amazing.
The first time we cut it, it was nominated for a Grammy.
Oh.
And 30 years later, it came back and nominated for a Grammy again.
Well, talking about Grammys, you've been, throughout the years, you was it 8 nominations of Stellas and Grammys and. Good God,
we got 6 Grammy nominations through the entire 35 years of being here.
Yeah, and you got several Stellas.
We have many Stellas. I can't name the many Stellas we have.
And then you have the
Dove. We have 2 Doves.
2 Doves
that we just run under Motown's administration.
And then you have the James. That's the highest award.
The James Cleveland Lifetime Achievement Award.
Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yep, received that.
But now, just recently, you've been nominated 7 Stellas.
7 Stellas. Yep. Yesterday.
When they gonna do a film? Ned, we're gonna have Fitz, and we're gonna have to write a script for this man. Shoot his film.
Hey, that's why I told him we got to get his number.
Yeah,
because I do have some idea in mind for a documentary. You know what I'm saying, about my life. You know, and my walk to become the choir master that the world now calls me choir master. How I got that name is just shocking that when I started this choir, I had an in-house publicist, and he wrote a bio.
Okay.
And was doing press releases for the Promise album. He was just in-house, somebody who was inspired to do it. You know, that wasn't what he did.
Right.
But he must have been around some people who did it. And in the bio, he said, choirmaster Ricky Dillard.
So that's where you get the
But
the
it was, but I thought it was corny myself.
no.
That then it was
Then
corny to me.
really?
35 years
you
ago,
ain't
that
seen-
was corny. Call me choir master. I just never, but I just let it fry. And today it's caught up with me.
Yeah, it caught
That
up.
They call me.
I can read some of the. I was looking on Facebook because I promo me doing the podcast.
Yeah,
And the picture with that great blue suit on.
yeah.
I'll give you your props. I mean, we got a little history going on from early on, so he get his props today. I'm gonna take him back after this is over. I did a promo for my Facebook family, the Choir on Set family, and all the people popping up. Oh, I can't wait! Choir master, that's the choir. I love him. That's the choir master. That's the choir master.
man.
So that name sticks now 30 years later.
The world calls me that.
Yeah, and you are.
And I did. I really wasn't calling myself that,
No.
but I just let that stay in the bio. If that's what you want to say it. Don't go ahead and say it. But I thought it was
Okay.
corny.
Okay.
But I believe it now.
Now you
believe it now.
You believe it now. So here we go. At this time of the podcast, our little birdie told me that you were a historian. Or I know
I love gospel
music
history. I
A
love
gospel
gospel
hi-
history.
Okay, so we're gonna play somewhat like Name That Tune.
Okay.
And yeah, right. I'm gonna get you.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna get you.
I'm ready for you.
Shorty Doo-Wop gonna get you right
Hey,
now.
come on with it.
But I'm gonna let our engineers play the first song, and you just gonna give them like maybe the first stanza, or maybe give him about a couple of seconds of the first song, and let him. Let's see if he knows that song. Well, here we go. All right, cut it. All right, that's all we need. That's all.
God, there is.
Who is it?
It's Milton Bronson and the Thompson Community Singers. I was singing with them at that time.
All right, can we play this a little more because he was getting into it? I cut it too fast.
Yes,
Yeah,
Sylvia Nichols on lead.
Okay.
So you about to make me cry, brother.
So just cry.
Man.
It's good to take. It's like
See,
taking
this is the beginning for me with Reverend Bronson.
Wow.
And the inspiration and the inspiring that he did
You got
as a
some
leader.
tissue? Go ahead, talk to me, brother.
He was incredible.
Wow.
And before his time as a younger choir master, Reverend Brunson, we would watch and listen to him for many years, and to be allowed as a tenor and to gleam into his leadership and to learn. And I am a Milton Bronson today. And that's why I'm tearing.
Yeah,
Because
I
I
understand.
never led a song on the albums. I never was a choir director in the Tommies. I was a tenor.
Mm-hmm.
And I just followed his lead. And in that leading,
Yeah.
I still remember his moves. Thank you, my brother. I still remember his moves as a leader. And when I hear this song, and when I hear the moments and the times we were on the road and on those buses together with this choir as a tenor in it, and they hear this song, it just moved me right now, brother. So excuse me.
No. There's no excuse for us being.
And then the
emotional
message.
people. What's the message?
There is no failure.
Right.
Whatever you want from the Lord, whatever you believe him to do, there is no failure that he can do it.
Wow.
And he has done it in my life.
Right.
So to hear this
Uh-huh.
and to be reminiscing on the walk to this journey of what you talking about, man, there ain't no failure in God.
No.
All this that you talking about is all God's doing.
Thank you. You was here for a reason.
Thank the Lord.
I took my route. You took yours.
Thank the
we got
Lord,
here to
and
talk
we are,
about-
and we're here.
We're here.
There ain't no failure in God for
thank
what
you.
we were talking about with your situation, starting in film and now podcast and your book and your magazine and your publication. All of those. There's no failure in
failure.
God, brother.
Thank you.
He will do
I wanna-
whatever you ask him to
Thank
do.
you.
That's what the song says,
I'm
and he
gonna-
has done
y'all
it.
better watch out moving. We're about to have
And he
church
has
up
done
in
it.
here. We're about to have church up in
Listen,
here.
doing
I'm
it
from Holy
already.
Pentecostal. We learn how to shout.
Listen,
But,
all the time.
But okay, so let's play the next one, guys. We have one more after this.
I'm good. Keep playing.
Go ahead, play that one. Yeah. Nothing wrong with being emotional.
Oh no, listen, I'm a true Pisces.
Oh, you're a Pisces.
Yes,
When's your birthday?
Heart sensitive hearts.
When's your birthday?
February 25th.
Okay, the beginning.
Yes. Reverend James Cleveland
Can
and
you
the
turn it down just a
Salem
little bit?
Baptist Church.
What did you say?
Reverend James Cleveland and the Salem Baptist Church from Omaha, Nebraska.
So what?
James
memories bring you?
Cleveland and Keith Pringle.
Uh-huh.
And Keith Pringle is where I got my start
Okay.
away from Reverend Bronson with the LSD singers I told you about. We would back up Keith Pringle, the guy who comes to sing the second part of this. That's Keith Pringle.
All right.
So, these moments are emotional to hear these old songs. And the people in these songs I was connected to. It's just great.
Amazing.
It's great stuff, brother.
Grace.
And Keith Pringle's still alive to this very day.
Do y'all communicate?
And we do.
Very well.
My brother forever.
Did you ever collaborate?
Oh, not on the album, but just on TV. When Keith recorded Perfect Peace, it was such a big song. He took our group LSD on the road with him as his background singers for many years.
Okay.
So, just to hear Reverend James Cleveland and Keith with Salem, this is a big hit right here. I don't feel no ways tired.
Do we have one more, guys? I'm going to take them last down memory lane, the last section of the road.
That's good right there.
And let's see what's going to happen.
That one was good, too.
When you connect with people, that changes your life.
Oh, man.
It makes a difference.
All the memories. When I hear these voices and see their videos, they're all asleep, except Keith is not asleep. But Reverend Cleveland is asleep. And I still listen to many of his records and still go back and get history that I missed. That people are finally posting old videos of Reverend Cleveland in the 70s and the 80s.
This is it?
Say You Love Me?
Ooh, that was close, but it's a sample of it, don't you think?
It felt like it.
Felt like it, didn't it? Say You Love Me. Yeah, but
Chords is good.
all right.
No turning back. L.A. Mass Choir? Is that L.A. Mass Choir?
Orlando Draper.
That's Orlando Draper. Oh, my God.
Got you.
You got me on that one. Yeah, I owe you for that one. Yeah,
me.
that was my brother, man.
Can I get my 2 inches back?
Yeah, you get him back. Let me tell you something. That's my brother. He was the inspiration in my writing.
Okay.
We were on the road together one day, and it was just me and him.
Wow.
And we were in the car, and we were walking. He said, "Ricky, you need to write. You need to start writing, because that's where your money is in writing." So I started writing after Orlando Draper inspired me to write songs.
Wow.
He was my brother. And just gone too soon.
Too soon.
He was one of the greatest.
He was young.
He was young. He was in his 30s when he passed away. And we funeralized him in Memphis, Tennessee. And his choir, and he was one of the baddest choir masters.
Too.
Oh my God!
Because he made some bad music.
He was a good guy.
Good guy.
Good guy. Good musician. Good writer. Good choir master. And we miss him so much.
Wow.
We did on the Stellar Awards, we did a tribute to him.
That was and don't tell me again.
I can't remember the year myself, so you're gonna have to tell me the year. But it was Donald Lawrence, Hezekiah Walker, and myself. We did with the associates backing us all the Orlando songs.
Wow.
And it was on the Stellar Awards, and it was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Tribute to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so you consider yourself traditional or contemporary, or both? when it comes
I
to?
started off tradition. I mean, I started off contemporary. But the older you get, you become traditional. And if I noticed it is true, I'm traditional because in all the categories for this year's Stellars, I'm under tradition, which means you a senior now. You've been here a while, and I'm still doing the same style of gospel that I did when I started, which now has turned into tradition.
All right. This I forget my train of thought 'cause I was listening. The song that all of my help.
That's contemporary though.
That's contemporary.
But our style is very much tradition. And when we cut All My Help, that was the very reason by mixing.
So it was mixing.
It was a mixing of the
Styles.
You know what I'm saying, to give us a contemporary song.
Okay.
On it, something.
Can we play a little bit of that? All of my help. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the beat.
But with all my albums, I try to give something contemporary because I want something to be on the album that everybody can listen to. Yeah.
Right.
The young people love it.
Yeah.
They want to. They want to vibe with it. They wanna, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And they want, everybody. And then you bring that in.
Drop that beat.
Drop the beat right there. You. Okay. Okay. Now, all of my help, he won't fail. Things are going to get better. I'm free.
I'm free.
But which one is the one that I heard it? The young man, very classical trained voice.
Yes.
That wore the song out. Which song was that?
Let There Be Peace.
Let There Be Peace?
Yes. And
was it Let There Be Peace?
He did two covers. He did a cover on First Choirmaster. And then he did a second cover on Breakthrough, which was Keep Going.
Okay. I think it was Keep Going.
Yeah, Keep Going.
Keep Going is the one that the lead person has a classical style. But y'all wore it out. You work with a lot of powerhouse soloists.
Yes.
And then that sing beyond the stratosphere.
Yeah.
What qualities do you look and listen for when you're choosing your solo artists?
The ability to take a song and deliver it. The ability to embrace the message and the style, and also get it so to a point that people can't stop listening to it.
Wow. I had to play that particular one over and over and over again. Keep Going is the name. I don't know. Can y'all quickly find that? I don't want the audience to hear what I'm talking about. Yeah. When that brother opened up his mouth, I said,
yes.
What?
Yeah.
And then there was a couple of female solo artists that you have, and all the songs that I mentioned, they make you just like tear your hair out or something, jump all over the place, knock the furniture over.
Keep Going probably was the last song that I chose for the Breakthrough album. Because,
that was on the Breakthrough album?
It was on the Breakthrough album. Keep Going was one of those messages social consciously.
Is this a social conscious song?
Yes.
Keep Going?
Yes.
Can you?
This is it.
Yeah. That's him. What's his name?
Thomas.
Can you go back again? Because we're talking, but I want the audience to really hear this voice.
Sure.
Can you go back to the beginning? I'm sorry. And I'm going to shut up.
Yeah, it's all good. Thomas is classically trained, and he is also a graduate of Morgan State University.
Morgan State. Can we play it?
Yep. I wanted people to know that no matter what stops them, if you got the power to get up, then keep going.
destined to conquer wherever you stand.
This flows like butter,
He's a great singer.
like effortless
Effortless.
butter.
When I got his audition, automatic yes, because I didn't have that voice in my choir, that type of voice.
Surrounded by promises from God's own
All right, extraordinary.
Lose hope.
That's the message. Don't lose hope.
You just got to get up and keep going.
Don't lose.
Yes, it was a great song.
So when you said
'Cause
you heard
are-
him-
yes, I heard him, and he sent in a video audition to me.
And did you write the song already, or did you would? And
No one of my writers wrote this song, and the funny part is, I overlooked this song in the list of songs he gave me. I heard the song, so I was still missing something on the album. I said, I'm missing something from this
an
album.
element from.
A song is missing something that should be here, kind of hearty, ballad like. And I went back through his list of songs to play the songs that he gave me, and this was sitting there.
And
I listened to it over and over,
over again.
I said, "This is it."
So when did you decide I'm gonna get a classical voice?
No, he was already in the
Oh, it's
choir.
already in the choir.
Yeah,
so
he was
you
already
knew
in the choir.
exactly-
I already knew who was
You
going.
knew was gonna do it.
Yeah.
Can we play a little bit more of that? Because
Yeah.
I had to play that over and over again.
Yes.
Just a little bit of.
gotta keep on going.
Encouraged. Keep on going.
And that's Thomas.
That's Thomas.
Extraordinary.
Extraordinary. Yeah.
Thank you. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Extraordinary.
Yes.
Got a couple of more, and then we're almost there. So we talked about that the powerhouse vocalist and how you pick your vocals artists. I mean, your soloists to sing.
Oh yeah.
And let's move on into let's take a moment and let's talk about your fashion. Because I haven't seen you personally on stage. I want to, please invite me
On Wendy Will.
on the
We
magazine.
have a relationship now, so she'll call you
when you
doing
do
something.
a concert, please.
We just did a concert Easter,
Oh,
and we
okay.
just was in Hampton this weekend in
Okay.
Philadelphia. So, but we'll invite you
Something
to
slated for this area yet, or you don't
Yes,
know
we're
yet?
having another emancipation type of situation coming up soon. So
Okay.
yeah, we'll invite you to that. Here.
Okay, so fashion. You always been fashionable.
I believe so. As a kid, I still remember when I could not afford clothes, I would go to thrift stores and buy these vintage suits. My mother had a sewing machine, and I watched her make clothes. My mother, and I just got these vintage suits.
Made it work.
Got with her sewing machine and start. And my fashion savvy came through the years. My mother was very fashionable. My father was very fashionable, and I was around fashionable friends as well.
Okay.
So I kind of took on my own flair and swag. to
And
what
did
I
your
like to
own,
wear.
made your trend.
Made my own twins, and I've styled myself. You know what
Style
I'm saying?
yourself.
Yeah.
So nobody style you. Nobody say this is what we need you to wear. You know exactly what you want to look like.
I know exactly what I want to look like.
So every suit, you probably got 200,000.
I got many suits.
And every shoe, you probably got a 15, 22,000 pair of
Listen,
shoes.
I got many
where
shoes,
do you
too.
live?
I live in Maryland.
So can we go shopping?
Listen, I ain't gonna start with you. I don't think you're gonna be able to get none of my stuff. I'm
Yeah, he's got a joke about that, but we ain't gonna talk about that. That's another episode.
I'm 5'11", he 5'8".
No, you don't call me out like that, Negro. Stop.
He
No,
gonna kill me on this.
Give me a
podcast.
half.
I'm gonna give him 5'9".
Thank you very much. You see how they do us? Wendy, I don't like him anymore. Take him back. No, seriously, but very fashionable.
Thank you.
And notice like some of the suits you wore, like one had embroidery and almost like it had like some embellishment with African material or something. And I forget, it was like maybe blue. I had to keep stopping the video to see, was it like a smoke gray or a blue? It was a bad, so this thing is bad.
Thank you,
Then I
man.
looked at some of the album covers that you had, and you have like one album cover where it said People on the Hill, and then you have like this
Robe on,
but it
yeah.
had prints or something.
That was a surplice.
Surplice.
A lace surplice.
Okay.
With the brocade on the bottom and sleeve. It was more of a very Catholic church look.
But it was
inspired of my spiritual father,
Okay.
Dr. Charles G. Hayes, who wore all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
It was called Father Hayes. Is what we called him, and he wore all that apostolic garments. Yeah,
Garments and stuff.
I kind of took that from him.
like you kind of fashionable now with your boots on.
Yeah, this is a little Valavas outfit.
Valavas outfit
one
and
of my
stuff.
favorite brands to wear.
What's your favorite color?
You know, I really don't have a favorite
You just
color.
like all
I'll rock whatever I'm feeling. You know what I'm saying? I'll rock. I'm not afraid to rock any color.
Oh, I like the hat, choir master. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Where the audience can get the choir master hat?
We sell these hats.
Okay.
And
take
you can
that
go to
out
our
here.
website, rickydillardandnug.com, and we sell these.
Oh, okay. I gotta get one.
Yeah,
I
choir
look like
master.
choir master shorty.
Yeah, we got choir master hats, we got choir master hoodies, t-shirts. So we have
All
to
right.
give. We have to give you one as a gift. So
Okay.
we'll get that to you.
So pretty much we almost there. I have one thing I wanted to take care because you have some fans.
Okay.
And there's one fan that particularly, when I told her that I was going to be sitting with the choir master, she went bonkers. Like, you thought it was the second coming of Jesus. Maybe it is. I don't know, but
It's always a blessing to know that we have inspired people through the music, and you know that their lives have at some point
Oh, my
may have
God.
changed and transformed from a song that we've given, and to talk with these people, to meet them is overwhelming for me. I'm always running into people who say, man, I met a brother this weekend at one of the concerts. He said, man, I couldn't walk. I had an accident and I was in a wheelchair for years, but your music got me through, and the man was walking this weekend.
Yeah.
When we saw him, he's no longer in a wheelchair.
wow.
Yeah, he had to go through rehab to get back walking, but he says that our songs helped him, inspired him to get up
Wow.
out that chair by faith, and we're so grateful to hear those types of testimonies.
Yeah, I don't know what testimony she has, but
Even if she don't, if something just
she has
inspired
something
her.
because she went bananas.
To
I
God
can
be
tell
the
you
glory,
because
brother.
it's one of my baby sisters. I didn't know she was into you like that.
Wow.
I said, Joyce, I'm about to. They always ask me, what are you doing next? What are you doing next? And I said, oh, I met Ricky Dillard. That was right after. I said, and I asked him, I asked him to be my cover, the cover on the magazine. And then when I finally got confirmation from Wendy that you would love to do so, I called her back. She's so I'm gonna call her right now.
Thank
She may have a question for you.
It's all good.
But
I'm ready
she
for it.
she named all the songs and
Wow.
but we were singing in choir at that
See,
time.
so she's a choir girl then.
Well, we GPKs,
Yeah. Oh, okay. Y'all
Grand-
pastor's kids too.
Grand Pastor kids.
Oh, got you. I got you. Same.
My
Same
granddaddy,
thing.
my mama, daddy was
Was a pastor.
Baptist pastor.
Gee.
When we went up to New York, when they moved up to New York, she became Holy Pentecostal.
Sure.
So we stayed in church 7
You
days a week. We used to
listen.
run and hide in the basement sometimes.
Because they wanted to make sure that the next day you didn't go back and sin. So be back here at church tomorrow. We know that it'll keep you saved.
Well, baby, that's for everybody there.
Because if I let y'all go home tonight, tomorrow you're gonna be back in sin. So you got to come back to church
Go
tomorrow.
ahead.
Listen, and if they had the power to keep you there all week,
Oh my God.
listen, you was there all week, all day.
Yeah.
Yep.
And remember, we
Them
be
crusades and as a young kid, I remember those
crusades and then
revivals and crusades.
what's the other one? The
Convocation,
convocations, and there's
Yeah.
another one when they have the tent, the revival.
tent revivals.
Oh,
yeah.
my Lord.
Tent revivals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put the headsets on.
Yes.
All right. And then will the audience be able to hear her when I call? Okay, let me see. She's gonna flip. Let
What's
me
her
see.
name?
Joyce.
Okay, Joyce.
Can you hear it, Ricky?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
Hello?
Joyce.
Hello?
Praise the Lord, sister. Praise
screaming
ye
right
the
now.
Lord.
Hi, Mr. Ricky Dillard, Dr. Ricky Dillard. I don't know what to call you.
Listen, you can just
Choir
call me
master.
Ricky. I take the choir master too, and I'm
Yeah,
honored.
You the choir master.
Your brother told me that you have been following us for some years and supporting our music, and I thought it was
Yes.
befitting to get you on the line and talk to you personally.
Oh, I love you so much.
Not as much as I love you, knowing that you've been following me all these years.
Yes, we're about the same age.
Well, you
Look
guys
at
all that.
Look at that. I'm so thankful
Yeah.
to be speaking
Yeah.
with you, and I just wanted to say thank you for all the many, many years of your love and support from a distance. I know we've never met each other, but whether you came to a concert or a recording, or you bought the album, watched the videos, or whatever we were doing, I'm so thankful that you
Everything,
thought of us.
I love it. I love it.
Thank
I
you.
love it.
Thank
I
you.
was just looking at what you was up to. I said, let me see what he up to.
See there. See there. You know,
That
we're
is
always up to
so
something now.
amazing.
You know, we're going to be doing something.
It's so amazing. I'm telling you, I sung in so many choirs and we sung so much of your music, and now I'm in a smaller setting like a church, family church, and it's so amazing that you really inspired us.
Thank you.
You've made a big impact on a small church, smaller churches and communities. You've made a big impact with the music.
So do
I'm
you,
telling you.
not to cut you off, because we're running out of time, is there any particular question you want to ask Mr. Or the choir master? Now, he's my tall friend now. So
I call him short stuff over here. Short stuff over here. You know, he battling me about height now.
no, he started it. It's almost like Mama stop. Tell him, he's
I
picking
told
on
him
me.
no matter what he do, I will always be taller than him.
But anyhow, you have a particular question you want to ask
Yes,
him,
I
or
do. So since I've noticed how choirs have changed throughout the years,
Mhm.
and a lot of churches don't have mass choirs anymore, or maybe choirs period. So how did that transition for you doing choirs now? Because a lot of churches don't really do choirs like we used to.
Yes.
So how did you work with that, the transitioning from because I haven't seen big choirs in a long time.
Sure. Well, you know, through the years, I think when we got to 2010, we saw a shift in the sound of gospel music, which brought forth the so-called genre inside gospel called praise and worship, and which was more of the Christian music sound. And I'm just saying it like this: the more white Christian sound was substituted from the culture black sound. We start seeing this CCM type of movement, which Then we go into COVID, which really knocked the choir out the box. We were already under this attack in 2010, but to get all the way to 2020, we were really knocked out the box then.
Yeah.
So thank the Lord. While COVID was going on, we recorded a record in 2019, preparing to bring some more attention to the gospel choir. And we have been on it heavy. I have been on it heavy. You know, many other, from Donald Lawrence to Hezekiah Walker to Vincent Bohane and all of these new young choir masters, choirs are on the rise again, and many pastors are opening their lofts and putting the chairs back in the loft.
Okay.
And here we are. It seems like there is a choir movement going on. You see Maverick City.
I'm so glad.
Yeah, Maverick City gave you this and gave you this CCM mixture of gospel. Then you saw Kanye West come with a choir. And with him helping, it really helped to turn the table a little bit more toward choirs, because when he brought that choir from LA, it was just, I can't think of the name of the choir that Kanye had, but they had a Sunday service that they would do in the, and move it around, and that movement was great. And then all the other choirs who never really went anywhere. I never went anywhere. In the last 20 years, I still was here, whether or not I was getting the attention choir-wise that I should get, but I was still here making the music and still giving the churches something to sing on Sunday. But now we don't have that problem now. We're getting more choirs starting now, and churches are putting those choir seats back in the loft. And if they took the choir loft out, they just bring the choir to the stage, and y'all go back to the audience and sit down after you finish singing.
Yeah, that's where I got, because that's, I love choirs. That's where I got my discipline. As far as my focus, my vocals, singing certain different ways, because I'm an alto tenor.
I got you.
I'm an alto tenor. So, it was a lot of discipline, and it taught us so much, being in the choir.
The choir movement was that movement. It was one of those movements to inspire those within it. One, you got a family out of it. Because we met together all the time, and we were together all the time, rehearsing and singing and going on engagements and doing Sunday morning. We were there together. And within those choirs, you find yourselves being sharpened. You're polished. You are sharpened. Your vocals become better. You're able to now brace the stage. If you are a solo singer, they put you out front. Now you're able to sing before many people in your church service. And then people see you in the church service, then they want to invite you to their weddings. They want to invite you to their parties to sing. They want to invite you to their funerals, and just different things. Cultivate those who are in the choir. And the choir, Yolanda Adams came from the choir. Kim Burrell came from Patti LaBelle, came from the choir. You name it. Most of the famous singers out there, they've all started
came from the choir.
The choir. And that is why choir is still important today to churches.
It is.
Especially to youth and children. Putting them in the choir allows them to grow and expand, and then they find their real quest. Even if you don't walk a real musical life, you still find your niche. Whether you become a preacher, whether you become a doctor, whether you become a lawyer, you still are inspired
by the
through choir. I've got so many
was
choir
all
members.
Inspired.
Yes.
We came from a musical.
You came from musical background. Look at you. What you're doing. You're doing TV. You're doing radio. You're doing publication. You're doing all these different things outside of music, but it was inspired.
Yeah, my family, my uncles played guitars and sung on. We was like Wakalama Blues.
Absolutely.
On Friday nights, my house would be jamming. My uncles be playing guitars and
family singing. We would get in my family houses. We had a group down. My family had a group down in Mississippi, and we would drive down to Mississippi for family reunions and stuff. And my family would have a Friday night at the house, and they'd be singing. My family would be shouting. They'd be taking them out on the front porch. My mom and them be shouting. My aunties them be shouting. They have to take them out because the Holy Ghost be in the house. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So these are the type of experiences that I've had as a kid. did walking through life and even my own quest. I started in the church choir, and I started dreaming, and and God
right.
started showing me how to get to the Milton Bronsons. I
Right.
wanted to be in the Tommies. I found him, and God led me there. I mean, it's just so many things
Right.
about the choir
Right.
that allows us to grow and to become.
Well, thank you, sis, for that question. We have to get ready to sign off. And I'm going to
Okay,
get
don't
your
forget,
autograph.
I want my autograph.
I got you, my love. I got you.
I
What an
love
honor to
you.
meet
I
you.
love you,
Honor to meet
Dr.
you.
Dillard.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Okay.
God bless you so much, and I'm going to continue to pray for you always.
And you as well.
Thank you so much for being a vessel for God. Thank you
you.
for saying yes.
Thank you, my love.
All right. Thanks.
God bless you.
All
God
right.
bless.
Bye-bye. Okay.
Very nice.
All right.
Thank you for that. That was inspiring and encouraging to hear the words that she spoke. So thank you, Joyce, again. Thank you.
Oh, then I cut her off.
That's
But
all right.
She'll watch it.
She'll watch it.
So we almost at the tail end. And like I said, again, I reiterate that I first met you at the Emancipation Day concert on the red carpet. And I asked you, you were telling me about the new album.
Yes.
So please tell the audience the name of the project.
Yes.
And how many songs that's on the album, and what inspired you to make this album?
This new album is entitled Choirmaster 2.
Okay.
And it is a continuation of Choirmaster 1.
Mm-hmm.
Just making good gospel music, again, to inspire, especially choirs everywhere, choir lovers everywhere. Giving the choir something to sing and to make choirdom fun again.
You said quietdom, like kingdom.
Choirdom.
Choirdom. Okay,
To
got
make
it.
choirdom fun again.
Uh-huh.
Inspiring
Yeah.
again. We used to look forward to
Yeah.
musicals on Sunday nights and going to visiting churches and going to people's musicals and concerts to sing, and Sunday morning or Sunday night services singing, inspiring the singers to serve the Lord in the call of their lives as we make our calling and elections sure. If music ministry is where you're supposed to be, that is where you're supposed to be serving. And I want to encourage musicians and singers all over the world that make your call and election sure and get in place so God can use you.
Very well. Now, some of the tunes or songs that's
From this album?
From this album.
We open up the album with "I Love the Lord," led by Deborah Murray and
Now, does that
myself.
be like the I Love the Lord, like Whitney Houston sung that? I Love the
No,
Lord?
not
Is it
that
different?
one. This is
Okay.
an old Church of God in Christ testimony song. I
Okay.
love the Lord, I love the Lord, I love the Lord.
Uh-huh.
And one of the writers down in Ohio rearranged it and made it a choir song,
Okay.
and we cut it.
Okay.
Then we got a song called Hold On, inspiring the people, whatever you face, hold on. Whatever you've been waiting God to do, delay is never denial. Wait on the Lord and be of good courage, and he'll strengthen your heart while you wait. But you got to hold on to see what he's going to do. If you die before then, you're not going to be around to see what he's going to do.
Wow.
Okay.
That's the message.
Yes,
A
yes.
message. Last but not least, you have collaborated with, I'm going to put my glasses on because I want to read. It's important to read, and we almost finished, guys. Dillard continues to make gospel choir music relevant, having recorded 13 gospel albums. We talked about that. Dillard has reached the 3 topping. We talked about that. I'm going to move down. Choirmaster 2, released in January 2024 and debuting at number 8 on the Gospel Billboard. 200 shot to number 1 on the top U.S. gospel album, number 1 on the top U.S. Christian gospel album. In 2020, Choirmaster released, and 2020 was nominated for 2 Grammys, 1 a Stella, and then Breakthrough in the Exodus was released in 21, and 22 was nominated for 8 Stellas, winning awards for the Choir of the Year, Traditional Choir of the Year, and Traditional Male Artist of the Year. In addition, Dillard was honored with the Stellar Award, highest honor, the James Cleveland Life Achievement. Such a Song of the Year, All of My Help.
All my help. Yes.
Did we play that already?
Yes.
We did. Damn,
did play
God,
that.
dang, I just missed that one. Okay, so this man, he talking about all the things that he created. I mean, you're only being given back what you put out.
You know?
And you put out the best, you get the best.
It's the funniest thing that, you know, the awards have been very, very encouraging and inspiring. But I was doing it as unto the glory of the Lord, that those who would hear this message, their lives
The
would
message,
change.
and that's where I was getting at. You took I was about to end with that, but you got it. Go ahead.
Yeah, that their lives would change, and I'm thankful for every award that I'm nominated for, or would win, or honored to have. If I never get another award, I'm still passionate to serve as choirmaster, because I am inspired that everybody should know Jesus.
Okay.
There's not one person in the world that should not know Jesus, because he is the way, the truth, and life. And if you want a life, you can't have it unless you have it in him. So my job again is to continue to inspire people to get to the Lord.
And through music can happen. You can hear a song and you never been to church or something.
sir.
It may touch your heart.
And move your heart.
But what I say, and from my experience of being in church all my life as a kid, so when I started growing up and I saw how some churches are and some churches were, some churches and some pastors and preachers make God to seem so hard to reach, and you don't have to know the scriptures. You don't have to know every scripture
for him to be near.
for him to be there.
Yes.
And that's what I take away.
Yes. He's been there all the time.
He's been there all the time.
And gonna be there even after you do whatever you do.
Right.
He gonna be there.
So don't worry about what man say or what the preachers say. Worry about your heart.
We're about to
and
heart,
your
because that's where
relationship.
he lives.
Yep.
And that's where he speaks.
And then I got two more things that
Go
we're
right ahead.
about to be
Go with
done.
it. Go with it.
The shorty about to be done.
Go shorty, go on with your shorty.
Go about to be done. So, collaboration, and you collaborated with a whole lot of people. I mean, Tasha Cobbs.
Yes.
What was the song?
It Is Well.
It Is Well.
Jennifer Hudson.
Jennifer Hudson.
Yeah.
Patti LaBelle.
Yeah.
Daniel Brooks. That's a Color Purple.
Sure.
Okay, in terms of music,
Albertina Walker.
Tiff Joy.
Amazing. Yeah.
So, who have you not collaborated? And who would be like? Everybody has somebody they really want to work with.
I really want to work with Jasmine Sullivan. I really want to work with her.
And why?
She's phenomenal. I mean,
The voice,
vocally,
that rap.
vocally
phenomenal.
Yeah, vocally phenomenal. She's got a special something. I hadn't met something special like that since meeting Kim Burrell.
But you have met her in person?
Yes.
Did you ever talk about collaboration?
I'm sure she knows that I put it in the air.
But put it out there again.
Yeah, I put it
national,
in the air that I was looking for her. I wanted her to do better. But when I couldn't get her, I got Kim Burrell to do it.
Okay.
Because nobody could, in my opinion, could handle that but her or Kim Burrell. I mean, the way I wanted it handled. But I wanted Jasmine to sing better. And I couldn't get Jasmine. And then Lettucey was going to come and do it. And then Lettucey was booked the day we were cutting. And I had Kim to come and do it. And it turned out better than I expected. Not that I thought it would not turn out good.
Wow.
Because Kim Burrell is the gospel beast.
Yeah,
gospel.
definitely.
I mean, her style has modeled the lead singer of gospel church today. And I'm so thankful to have had some collaborations in past with Kim Burrell, who again is the best, the greatest of all times.
Now, you have segued into film, and you wrote and arranged for the New Color Purple,
For the New Color Purple,
the
yes.
musical.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me what that experience was about.
It was awesome to get a call from Color Purple to participate in the musical aspect of the film, and Blitz called me to the phone for a private chat. We did a Zoom call, and he told me what he wanted. He sent me the track, and song is called "Mysterious Ways." It opens the film. The first song is the song that I arranged. And,
Okay. And
yes.
you also played a cameo as the piano man.
Yeah, I got a little cameo.
Didn't know who you were.
Listen, yeah, because they had me on a cart with a horse, and the piano was on the cart, and I was playing and directing the choir as I was going through the town in the opening scene. So
I got to go back to that film again. I'm gonna watch that tonight.
it's
to
the
see
opening.
That.
I'm on a cart with a piano. And I'm
Okay.
directing, and I ride by while the choir singing, and
Okay.
they're dancing out there, and I ride by,
Uh-huh.
and it was an honor to work with the singers in LA. We went to the studio. I think it was Universal Studio,
Uh-huh.
and where Nat King Cole, Michael Jackson, and all of them recorded their big albums, Thriller, and all of those albums was recorded in that studio. So they brought me out to LA to train the singers for the tracks and train them on my arrangement. And then I got a call back to do 2 more songs. I did Sugar Avery's Coming to Town.
Oh, is that a new version of Sugar Avery coming to? No.
Yes.
Yeah, because it was different.
Yes,
from-
they did it. Whatever the version is in the new film,
right.
that's the version we worked on.
Okay.
And then we did the song Color Purple that closed the movie when Fantasia was singing at the table with her family showing up, and everybody was at the table. I worked that song as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about Sunday Best.
Yes. Yep. We've been
We
on
can even-
Sunday Best many times as well as a
Yeah.
guest. Yep. Through the years with Kirk Franklin. It was a blessing to do that show because it was another level of finding like American Idol, and we would go as guest artists on the show, and it was a blessing to see that show through the years that
Right.
it was here. Kirk did a great job as hosting it, and the presentation from BET was what we needed as the gospel genre, like an American Idol. So it was really good.
Very well. So we're like at the end, but I want to. Was going to play one of the songs before we go out. I want you to tell the audience where they can find your music, where they can connect with you, your website, your Facebook page, your Twitter, your X, whatever, blah, blah, blah. There's so many things going on. AI, hopefully you're real.
Yeah, I'm
the
real. I ain't doing no AI.
Yeah, because,
No,
what do
we
you
were-
feel about that?
I don't mess with none of that.
Like, because,
I try to stay away from signing up for anything like that.
Yeah, 'cause-
I don't know what the future holds,
Right.
with and who that information or stuff is in the hands of.
Right.
However, I see what I see out here in these streets, and I know I see the devil in many forms.
Yeah, in many forms.
You understand?
And I always
we
tell
must
people,
be
be
very
careful.
careful.
Yeah.
What we signing our name to
To.
and what we signing up
Exactly.
to. I never got TikTok. I don't have TikTok. Now they trying to ban it,
Right.
Because it's in the hands of the wrong people, of which we already knew.
Knew
It
that
was
from
in
the
hand.
beginning.
We knew that from the beginning. I
Right.
said it's gonna come. And when
Right.
they started infiltrating the elections from Russia and all that,
China and,
all these people,
Yeah.
that's because they got information
Yeah.
from us over here.
Right.
So we gotta do better. America gotta do better with what we signing up for and where these things come from. I mean, still some of the platforms that we're on, from Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, I mean, we still got who we got in leadership there, but hopefully we are not any harm's way.
So is there any social songs on the new project?
Oh yes, the whole album is
The whole
social.
album is
Yes.
social?
When you
I have to
talk about
listen to
holding
it.
on, I'm talking about life.
Okay.
When I'm talking about I love the Lord, he says all things work together for them that what? Love the Lord. And I call, so why not sing about it? I love him and it's going to work out for me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm a Jesus lover. So there are privileges being in God that are not privileged to others.
To others.
You understand? So I'm this message in Choir Master 2 is that.
Okay, very well. Tell the audience again how they can reach you.
You can reach us if you're wanting us on Instagram. You can reach us Ricky Dillard, Facebook Dr. Ricky Dillard, Twitter Ricky Dillard, and then you can call us for bookings at 404-990-0305. And we have a website, rickydillardandnewg.com, and then we have another Instagram artist page called Ricky Dillard and New G on Instagram. So whatever you need, we are found in those places. Wherever you buy music, it don't matter where you buy music, we are there. So all you got to do is click on Ricky Dillard. All our albums will be there. We have 13 albums. In some places you'll find all 13. In some places you may find a few. But we are on those platforms and in those systems as well.
Oh, you also have hats, apparel,
Yes,
clothes.
that you can find this kind of stuff on my website, rickydillardandnewg.com.
And that's it says choir master on
Choir
the hat.
Master. Yep.
So he sells other items as well.
Yep.
Very well.
Other Choir Master branded items, from T-shirts, hoodies, you name it. We got quite a bit of things that you can choose from.
So Quiet on the Set really, really appreciate you stopping by.
Man,
Well, I'm
it's
gonna say
been
Quiet on the Set magazine because there's a Quiet on the Set, and that's a
Sure.
teenage website. But Quiet on the Set magazine, really, really thank you for taking out your time, your busy time.
Listen,
And
I
you
was
was-
honored. I was honored to meet you at DCN. You were just great on the carpet.
Thank you.
Conversation was incredible.
Thank you.
And I was humbled that you were called to ask for this.
Oh, for the
And,
cover.
I want to thank Wendy, my business administrator, who handles all of our bookings and everything, to make sure that we are lining up with all the requests. And
Yeah.
we thank you for your request.
Yeah.
And
I can't
to
wait.
be here with you and to be on your podcast and be with our engineer here.
Oh,
it has been
Fitsum?
Yes.
He couldn't find the tissue in time. The man was crying.
Listen,
No,
I
I'm
was
just kidding.
boohooing.
He was boohooing. You couldn't find it.
Listen, but it's
No,
been
no, it's
a
all
wonderful
good.
time being with you, Brother
Yeah.
Eric. Thank you, man, for
No,
inviting me.
thank you, and we appreciate it. And I can't wait to design the cover. Maybe me and Wendy will get together.
Yes.
And one of my art directors can get together and come up with the look. Not the look
thing.
for you to wear.
No, I know what you
but
mean.
Yeah.
We're gonna step back, 'cause that's your anointing. That's your anointing.
But-
we ain't gonna mess with that. We gonna go on over here and thank the Lord for this opportunity to talk.
But it will be a featured story.
Yes, sir.
I'll get more information from Wendy and yourself as well. And you'll be the cover of June.
Thank you, man.
We never had with this. You be the
And
first.
believe it or
to
not,
grace-
I've only had one other cover that I remember.
Well, this is exclusive.
This
then,
is very
basically,
exclusive.
because
Yeah,
you
no,
be
no,
the
I've
first-
not been on very many covers.
Well,
and
you're
I'm
gonna be on
humbled.
this cover.
I'm humble, brother.
Exclusively for the
you.
summer for Quiet on the Set magazine. And you can give a shout out to Quiet on the Set magazine.
Choir on the Set magazine, we love y'all, man. We thank the Lord for the many years that you have given us a publication of information and allowing us into the lives of many artists, to know them and to gleam into what they do and to be inspired by them. You inspire us on many levels, and we're so thankful that you are still here with us. Keep going. No matter what, keep going.
Thank you, and we appreciate you, brother, and bless you, and keep making that music that touched the lives and hearts of people. It really does.
Thank you.
Because I think during that time, you said your first album was 90?
1990, yes.
That's when my mom passed. And I
Wow,
remember the
bro.
song, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And January, the week after New Year's, and you were hot on the tracks, and I said we used to
Yes,
play
God.
in church, going to, I forget the church that I went to. Me and my sisters had sung on a choir.
Yes, yes.
We had sung on a choir, and that really had helped.
Yes.
The
Well,
music that was there at that time, your music that was there at the time.
Well, we definitely want to continue to inspire the world, those who will
Yeah,
listen.
inspire. Please
Yeah,
continue.
If you're listening, we want to make sure you're inspired and encouraged.
And one thing, I'm sorry, we done signed off. He done gave you his contact information. We always ask, it's the same old cliche question, but for younger people into the business, into the music and gospel music, what would you tell them? What would you tell them?
Well, one, I think you pulled it out through this whole interview is to keep going.
Keep going. That's the song.
You're going to face some no's on your way through your journey. Some people are going to turn you down. Some people are going to hurt your feelings. Some people are not going to be there to support you. But guess what? You got to keep going. Because if you keep going, God's going to have a door over here that's cracked. And all you got to do is kick it in. God's got a window over here open that he's ready to pour out something, but you got to get to that window. If you don't get to that window, then you're going to miss what God's trying to do. So this means you got to keep going.
Keep going. Thank you, my brother.
Indeed.
And bless you.
And bless you, my friend.
Can't wait. I got to get, the album is now out now, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm
Choir
going
Master 2 is out.
Choir Master 2.
And videos
And
are on our
videos.
YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel called Ricky Dillard TV.
Okay.
We have at least 3 albums
Okay.
of videos from the actual recordings. These
Y'all
are
hear
not
that?
these are not just concert videos. These are videos exactly what you hear on the album is the night of the album on
Okay.
video. So you have to go there and see it. Ricky Dillard TV.
That's Ricky Dillard TV.
Yes.
All right. Very
Keep
well.
going is there. The video Keep Going is
Keep
there.
going.
You got to go
All
see
right,
it.
gotta go see it. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate it. That's a wrap. Peace.